If Nintendo fans were trapped in the desert and they were begging for water, and here comes Doug Bowser and hands them a fresh clean bottle, they would look at it, complain that it was Dasani and not Aquafina, and have a meltdown. Because we've spent over a month, we've spent many weeks at this point complaining that there's not enough Switch 2 games, and today the Nintendo Direct was a partner showcase which showed about 25 different games that are coming to the Switch and Switch 2. And when I was watching the live stream, you could see just L's just in the chat, just L. My favorite one was somebody said, and the chat goes mild. Even the announcement that this was a partner showcase was met with lots of backlash from the Nintendo community. So today we're gonna go over everything that was revealed. We're gonna go over the good, the bad, the ugly, and there was one thing that was absolutely phenomenal, and they still dropped the ball on it. I cannot believe it blows my mind how they did that. But anyway, before we begin, of course, so what's going on, guys? Cheers. The support on this channel recently has been incredible, by the way. I'm still a tiny YouTuber, so any thumbs up and subs really helps out a ton. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's jump right in here. Now, if you come over to the official Nintendo YouTube channel, you can see trailers for almost every game that was revealed. Actually, it might be every game that was revealed here, which is fantastic. They had this ready to go on day one, which is great. And you can see that the partner showcase kicked off really strong with Monster Hunter Stories 3. I know a lot of people Monster Hunter is just one of those franchises that the core fan base goes absolutely wild whenever they see new information about any sort of Monster Hunter game, whether it's a port, a remake, a brand new entry, whatever the case might be. It could even be a mobile game, and Monster Hunter fans go wild for it. So they started off really strong here, and honestly, as we've seen with previous games in the franchise, this art style looks fantastic. And one of the things that bothers me so much, and I don't want to like start this video off with hating on Pokemon, right? I love Pokemon, so it hurts my soul to do that, but like when I see games like this, I'm like, man, this is what Legends Arceus should have looked like. This is what, you know, Scarlet and Violet should have looked like. Like, the art style here is absolutely freaking incredible. I love it, and I know that this is not the first game in the franchise to look like this, but as I was watching this you know, trailer here, I just was like, man, this just looks freaking beautiful. And man, it just made me really realize just how bad some of the other game, like the Pokemon games, could look so gorgeous, and they just simply don't. But this was a strong way to start the partner showcase. The chat goes wild. Okay, the next thing that they went with was Once Upon a Katamari, and this was a surprise to me. This was not on my radar whatsoever. A new Katamari game is always welcome, of course. It is a classic franchise with some of the best video game music that has ever come to any console, right? Especially way back on the GameCube, bro. I've been jamming to that soundtrack for my entire life. Okay, even though I barely played Katamari Damacy and the rest of the games in the franchise, but the small amount of time that I did spend playing them, like, the one thing that sticks with you is, of course, the soundtrack, right? And they made a point in this trailer to reveal that they're bringing back a lot of the same artists that were responsible for previous soundtracks, so they know what's up, they know what we're here for. Okay, and this is fantastic. However, it looks like this game was developed for the original Switch and is coming out October 24th 2025. The pre-order link does not work right now, so I don't know what's going on there. And I know that, like, you know, the Switch has a huge install base, right? And the Switch 2 just came out, so there's going to be a period of time where there's overlap between the two consoles, obviously, right? But one of the things that I noticed when I was watching this, it immediately clicked. I was like, wait a minute, this would be a great game for the Joy-Con 2, the mouse controls, right? Imagine rolling around with the mouse controls. I don't know, maybe it would be clunky, maybe it would be awful, but like, it immediately clicked. I was like, wait a minute, why would this not come to the Switch 2? That would be amazing to try out and like move around using the mouse controls. That could be interesting and something new for the franchise. So it was hard to watch this. And, you know, I was excited. I'm like, oh great, a new Katamari game coming for the Switch, right? But I'm just like, oh, this is what could have been, right? And maybe, who knows, maybe down the line they will release an HD version of it for the Switch 2, and it'll have those motion controls, or the mouse controls, I should say. But either way, I'm excited for this, but there's definitely a missed opportunity there, and it's nobody's fault, right? Like, obviously they were going to make this for the Switch. It's obviously been in development for a while, but I would have loved to see this for the Switch 2 with mouse controls. So they started the Nintendo Direct off strong wrong with both of those games. And then we see a couple of things that are a little bit weak, right? We see Just Dance 2026, who cares, right? No one cares about that game. It's not 2020 anymore. Then we see Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is coming to the Switch and Switch 2, and I know that Sparking Zero obviously has great reviews, right? People love Sparking Zero. My question is, like, is it built for the Switch and then upscaled to Switch 2, or what's going on here, right? Because honestly, you know, I know that the install base for the Switch is massive, and so obviously third-party companies are going to take advantage of that, of course, right? But like, I don't know, man, I almost wish that they would just put it on the Switch 2, right? Like, don't even bother with the older hardware here. You know it's gonna run horribly. It's gonna be 30 frames. It's gonna look like trash on the original Switch, right? Just make it for the Switch 2. I hope the Switch 2 version looks almost as good, or as good as it can, compared to like the PS5 and stuff like that, right? Like, it looks fantastic, coming November 14th, right? I hope that it's good, but I am worried about the fact that it is also made for the regular Switch. Then we saw Plants vs Zombies Replanted. This was definitely something that a lot of people speculated we would see. I do think that people were excited to see this and have it finally confirmed. They also revealed local co-op and PvP here, and I know this is sorry, my head's a little bit all over the place because we just saw this, but I do want to just touch on one quick thing here. Once Upon a Katamari actually also has online play, which I was just reminded by looking at the fact that there is co-op for Plants vs Zombies Replanted. So we have online play for Katamari, which is nice, and also Dragon Ball Z is going to have motion controls. That's another thing I wanted to touch on here. Motion controls for Sparking Zero. Not sure how that's going to go, but that's going to be really interesting to see. Okay, sorry for the little the tangent here. I just had to make sure I got that out of the way. But yeah, Plants vs Zombies Replanted, I think there's a core group of people that wanted to see this because it's an HD remake, and so some people were excited. Maybe I'll try this depending on how much it costs. This is coming October 23rd 2025, so you know, just in time for Halloween. You get a little bit of zombie action there on the Switch 2, which is nice. They did not say anything about the original Switch here, so this is just a Switch game. Then we see EA Sports FC 26. That's a soccer game. I don't care about that. It's coming to Switch 1 and 2, so I'm not really interested. Pac-Man World 2 Re-PAC actually looked kind of good. Am I crazy? I mean, I know that this is like nothing special, to be honest with you, and especially the fact that it's coming again, just like Sparking Zero, it's coming to the Switch 1 and 2, right? Oh man, look at that. Look at that freaking dude. The original title screen. Oh my god, it's actually insane. Like, they do the comparison here, it looks gorgeous, right? But anyway, my point is the fact that it's coming to Switch 1 and 2 always makes me feel a little weird now, right? Like, the Switch 2 is out, the Switch 1 is in the rear view. I don't care about the Switch 1 anymore, and so I just want everything to come out for the Switch 2. I know I'm entitled, I know I'm privileged, I get it, right? I know not everybody has one, and not everyone can afford one, but like, again, if you're gonna do a remaster, I want to just put it on the best possible hardware, right? Just do it. All that being said, this game coming out originally in like what, 1999 or 2000, it doesn't need the Switch 2 to look great these days, right? Even the Switch 1 is a massive step up from what it used to look like. And for a 3D platformer, like, I've heard the Pac-Man World games, I've never played them, but I've heard that they're actually pretty good, and as a 3D platformer, like, this actually looks really solid, especially with the remastered graphics, costume customization. Like, I'm gonna be real, wow, that screams 90s, does it not? Holy shit, that's awesome. I'm gonna be honest, like, this actually looked kind of good, even though it came out of left field, not what I was expecting. Nobody really asked for this, but like, because they're such well-known platformers, I'm kind of excited for this. Will I get it day one? No, maybe I'll wait for you know, a price drop or something like that. But yeah, coming to Switch and Switch 2 September 26th of this year, so another 3D platformer to look forward to, and by that time everyone will have beaten Donkey Kong Bonanza, so a third-party 3D platformer is going to be nice, especially one that is, you know, well regarded. Then we see Persona 3 Reload. I know, just like with Monster Hunter, Persona is another one of those franchises that will just always get the core fans excited, right? No matter what it is. Coming October 23rd 2025, this is coming to the Switch 2. I have never played a Persona game, and I really need to, because I've heard that they are, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, they're turn-based RPGs, right? And so I mean, I know I'm gonna sound like some people are gonna call me, you're a fake gamer, you've never played Persona, right? You don't even know what it is. I know, but just hear me out, okay? If it is in fact a solid turn-based RPG, which I've been told it is, then I really should try it, because I do like turn-based RPGs, and so maybe this is like the franchise that I'm missing that I would absolutely love. But the chat went wild for Persona, and as it always does, right? Persona is one of those franchises that will just always get people excited. So I know people are going to be excited for this. It's going to be great for the Switch 2, and something to look forward to for sure. Then we got the most exciting part and the biggest flop of the entire direct here. okay, and the chat went wild, right? You see Hyrule, you know it's going to be Hyrule Warriors. They've already announced, and they've got a new trailer here for Age of Imprisonment, right? The game looks gorgeous. And I think one of the things that people are confused about, right? Like, first of all, obviously they included this because people want more. They want to know more. And, you know, obviously Nintendo wants to get the hype up, right? And, you know, they were probably worried that, okay, if we have an entire showcase full of just third-party games, people are going to be asking for more. They're going to want more. So they threw this in here for the hype, right? But I want you guys to remember that, like, this, I mean, obviously it's published by Nintendo, and it uses a first party IP, which is Zelda, right? Legend of Zelda. But like, it's a Warriors game, which is technically not a first party. Like, it's not like this is an actual new Zelda game, right? Like, let's be real. I know that like all the YouTubers use this as an excuse to put Zelda in the title and thumbnail and say, oh my God, brand new Zelda's coming, right? And it's always clickbait, right? Because it's Hyrule Warriors. Like, it's not actually, it's Zelda themed Warriors, right? So like it's kind of like technically not a first party game, even though it is a first party game. It's The Legend of Zelda. So, you know, it kind of does fit here in a partner showcase. But, you know, despite the fact that I was excited for this, the game looks great. The trailer was awesome, right? The biggest absolute blunder here was at the very end of the here, they show a little secret thing here, a little trailer. I don't know what's going on here, but at the very end, check this out. Look at the release date. Look at the release date here. Ready? Oh, you noticed how there's not one? Yeah, what's going on, dude? They said it's coming in winter 2025, which we already knew, Nintendo. So you've got the most hype part of the entire Nintendo Direct, and you don't even give us a release date when we are waiting for release dates for all of the big upcoming Nintendo games. We need a release date for this, Metroid Prime 4, which we already know. The fact that we didn't see anything from Metroid Prime 4 in this showcase, by the way, is perhaps not good news, okay? Because again, there's been rumblings behind the scenes that the game is not finished yet, and it's supposed to come out this year. Like, how do we not even have a release date for it if it's coming this year, right? So anyway, the point is, this is 2 or 3 of the upcoming exciting Nintendo games that they still don't have release dates, bro. So we have Hyrule Warriors, we have Metroid Prime 4, and Kirby Air Riders, right? Now again, Kirby Air Riders and Metroid Prime 4, these are completely fully Nintendo IPs. These are first party games, right? Hyrule Warriors is a first party IP slapped on a technically a partnered game, right? So, you know, it makes more sense that this game would be featured than anything else that is Nintendo related, right, in this Nintendo Direct. But again, no release date for this, no release date for Metroid, no release date for Kirby, no release date for, I mean, we got teased Splatoon, not in this Direct, but like we know new Splatoon's coming. Like, there's so many Nintendo games that we just still don't have a release date for. And if any of them was going to get a release date during this Direct, it would have been Hyrule Warriors, and we didn't get that, right? So I don't know, I'm a little bit worried, to be honest with you guys. I'm a little bit worried about some of the first party Nintendo stuff that's coming down the pipeline. Is it like, are they just gonna, like, if it's all running behind, is it all just going to be crammed right at the end of the year for holiday? Because that's going to feel really weird, right? You're going to get all these big game drops in like November, December, and like, I don't know. All we have to look forward to right now is Pokemon Legends ZA, which looks horrible. Even on the Switch 2, it looks like trash. And so like, I'm so worried about the first party stuff, even though this is a partner showcase. But anyway, Hyrule Warriors, it was great to see another trailer here. I'm excited for this, but definitely a huge letdown. Then we saw Madden 26, which is actually going to be big for the Switch 2, even though I don't care about that at all. We saw Final Fantasy Tactics is coming to the Switch 1 and 2, which looks really, really nice, to be honest with you guys. I really like the art style here. Of course, it's a Final Fantasy Tactics game, right? It looks gorgeous. So I know a lot of people, again, Final Fantasy is one of those franchises that, you know, the fans absolutely love, and so I know that they're going to be eating this up, and maybe I will jump in and give this one a try as well. You guys can let me know in the comments if this is definitely a game worth trying. Then we got Chillin' by the Fire, which I think is actually out at the time of recording this video. This was one of the most bizarre games that they revealed here, where it's literally just try to start a fire and keep it going for as long as possible. I think a little bit charming, a little bit indie, a little bit weird, right? But it does actually come out for the Switch 2, and they did reveal that it does have the sort of camera support and multiplayer, right? And so you get to just hang out with the boys and like start a fire. I don't know, no one asked for this, not sure what this is all about. Hopefully this game is really cheap, because yeah, it's not even up on the store yet, but it should be out today apparently. So I don't know, very weird stuff here. The chat was very confused by that, to be honest with you, and so was I. Then we got Apex Legends, which is definitely big, definitely for the Switch too. It looks really nice. I don't know, is Apex Legends still popular? I know EA has been doing all right lately, so maybe this is good. A new season is coming soon, and this will be launching with the new season on August 5th, so literally like this coming week, which is very impressive stuff. I didn't play Apex Legends after season like 1, so I truly do not care about this game at all. I don't even think anybody was asking for this, but if you like Apex and you want to play it on the go, now you can get it on Switch too, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that. Then we see Hela, or Hela, I don't know how to pronounce it. Hela, this game got a lot of bad reception in the live stream chat, but I think it looks actually kind of cool. I'm gonna be, maybe I'm just like a boomer, I don't know, but it looks kind of like, it looks like Stray or one of those like very minimalist like 3D platformer slash adventure games that's really just focused on, you know, getting through the levels, right? There's a lot of focus put on the environmental design. It looks absolutely gorgeous, right? The lighting, the textures, everything looks absolutely beautifully here. Of course, coming to the Switch 2, coming in 2026. I think this looks great. I think the game looks great. I know it's not like, it's not what people wanted, it's not what they were expecting, but like it looks beautiful, right? Now, will I pay full price for it on day one? No, definitely not. But I can imagine this being one of those like sleeper hits that people don't realize is going to be great until it comes out. I also, oh man, look at the kickflip on this dude. I could also imagine this being a great game that, you know, the co-op for maybe on like Twitch live streams or something could be pretty cool. I don't know, it looks like a puzzle adventure game, and I think there's an audience for that. I think it looks gorgeous, so definitely one that the chat was not stoked about, but I think it could be pretty good. Then we got Star Wars Outlaws. Bro, no one asked for this. What an absolute waste of time. That's embarrassing that this is coming. Look at the dislike ratio on that bad boy. Holy smokes, 28 minutes ago and it's already gotten review bombed. It's gotten disliked to oblivion already. Coming September 4th, as you guys know, if you don't, Star Wars Outlaws was published by Ubisoft. The game absolutely flopped, and then instead of taking accountability for releasing a garbage game, Ubisoft said, well, it's because Star Wars isn't doing so hot right now. And like, look, that's true, but you can't sit there and tell me that it's not possible to make a good Star Wars game in 2024 2025, right? Like, it obviously you can. Star Wars is still, despite what it's doing lately, it's still one of the biggest franchises in the world, biggest entertainment franchises, and it's still possible to make an absolutely badass, kick-ass Star Wars game, and Ubisoft couldn't do it, and they had absolutely flopped. The game looks like shit, nobody likes the game, and you could tell by the dislikes here. So no one asked for this, no idea why this is coming on the Switch 2, but it's kind of a joke. Then we see Cronos. Cronos actually looks really cool. The New Dawn coming to Nintendo Switch 2 September 5th 2025, just in time for Halloween in October, a little bit early actually, but this gave me like Fallout vibes mixed with like Dead Space. I don't know, it looks really cool, but basically you can travel between the current future, which is like destroyed, and then you can go back to the past and see what happened. But the current future is all messed up. The past is actually more futuristic looking, and you kind of have to like figure out, you know, what's going on here. This game definitely does not you know, scream Nintendo game, right? This is like, I mean, it's creepy, it's spooky, it's a horror type game, it's a survival horror. It looks really cool. I thought this looked fantastic, so I don't know if this is gonna come to other like PS5, Xbox. I imagine it will, but like this actually looked really good, right? And look at the orphans, that's actually terrifying. Lots of cool things coming with Cronos. I thought the game looked awesome, and the like to dislike ratio kind of speaks for itself here. Then we see Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 getting a nice little like HD remaster here coming to the Switch 2. The trailer looked amazing, to be honest with you guys. This is another one of those like core franchises that like people love the Yakuza games. I've never played a Yakuza game, which is kind of crazy. This made me want to try it though, to be honest with you. Like, the trailer looked really good, but it's nothing like new or special really, right? It's another Yakuza game on the Switch 2. We've already got one at launch, like it is what it is. Then we got like a little bit of a speed run here. A couple of games were just kind of flashed on the screen. We got NBA Bounce, we got Hello Kitty Island Adventure Wheat Flower Wonderland. So this is like an expanded version of Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which is already out on the Switch 1, of course. And then we have Romancing SaGa 2 Revenge of the Seven Switch 2 edition. The art style here looks pretty good. Then we got Shinobi Art of Vengeance. This is definitely a Shinobi game that I think people are probably going to enjoy if you liked these Shinobi games in the past. It's a 2D ninja game, like you know what you're getting here. It looks great, the art style looks fantastic. If this is up your alley, this looks like a great game. Otherwise, it's nothing super special. Then we have Borderlands 4, which was on a lot of people's bingo card here. Borderlands 4, it is what it is, coming to the Switch 2 October 3rd. The dislike ratio is kind of bizarre here, so I don't know what's going on, but Borderlands is another one of those games where I've bought them, they're on the shelf, and I have yet to pop it in. I don't know what I'm waiting for. The franchise is super old, but yeah, if you like Borderlands and you want to play it mobile, I guess this might be the way to do it, or maybe just get a Steam Deck, I don't know. And then the final two announcements were Square Enix, which of course Square Enix is one of the most beloved developers in general, but HD 2D action RPG. The art style here looks really unique. I know a lot, like literally HD 2D was trending on Twitter after this. Like people really liked how this looked. You could tell by the like to dislike ratio. Adventures of Elliot is coming in 2026. This is I mean, it's an RPG. You've got a little fairy. There's a lot to love about this if you are a Square Enix fan, and I'm gonna give you guys a hot take. I feel like Pokemon should have taken this art style. Like the transition to the open world for Scarlet and Violet was such a massive letdown and failure that they should just go back, just give up on open world. Like you can't do it. Game Freak has too few employees, the development timeline is too short, Nintendo has the pedal to the metal. Like you can't make a good open world game, so just give up and just go back to what you're good at, which is like a top down sort of sprite based thing. I think this would be, you know, if Pokemon looked like this, I think it would be better for the franchise overall. Honestly, I kind of liked how Sword and Shield looked, and I like how the 3DS games look, but I don't know, maybe I'm just being an a-hole. But yeah, a lot of people were excited for Adventures of Elliot, and then right after that we got Octopath Traveler 0, which was again also on the bingo card of a lot of people. The game looks absolutely gorgeous, right? This is coming December 4th 2025, so a lot of people expected this. It looks beautiful, looks gorgeous. If you've been waiting for this game to come to the Switch, then here you go. So a little bit of a mixed bag for this partner showcase. A lot to love, a lot to not love, and we see, you know, a little bit awkward. Where's Hollow Knight Silksong? Where's Red Dead Redemption 2? We didn't see GTA 5, which was rumored, which I didn't really think we'd get GTA 5, but it was rumored. Where's The Witcher? Right, we didn't get The Witcher, which honestly I don't care about The Witcher either, right? Like Witcher 3's been out for a long time, it's been on every platform, who cares about it, right? At this point we don't need it on the Switch either, but it just felt like there was stuff missing here that people were like kind of, it was a slam dunk, right? Like no metaphor refantasio, like I don't know, just it feels like there was a lot of stuff here that like should have been here that wasn't, but we did still get a lot of really cool things as well. Also, the big rumor was that at the very end of the direct we would get a little bit of a hint at the next Animal Crossing, just a little sneak peek, just something to get fans excited, and we did not get that, right? So I feel like the expectations were really high for this Nintendo Direct, but I think that once people found out it was a partner showcase, those expectations went down. So who knows? I'd say this is a mixed bag. I would give this Nintendo Direct like maybe a 6.5 out of 10. Like there's some stuff here that people wanted, there's some stuff here that people didn't ask for, there's some surprises that look pretty good, like Cronos, Gila in my opinion. Pac-Man World 2 I think is great, Katamari, Monster Hunter Stories 3. There's some stuff here that looks solid, but it's also filled with some trash, right? Like let's be real, we've got Star Wars Outlaws over here, we got stuff people didn't ask for, like Just Dance, some sports games. People weren't stoked about Borderlands 4. So yeah, I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comment section below what you felt about this partner showcase and this Nintendo Direct as a whole. Was this a big win? Was this a big loss? Or was this just somewhere in the middle and it was fine? And like I said earlier, the biggest fumble of the entire thing is no release date for Hyrule Warriors. And like, look, should they force a release date just to make the Nintendo Direct better? No, of course not. If the game's not ready, the game's not ready. If they don't have a release date, they don't have a release date. I'd rather them wait and make the game good and have it come out a little bit later. Of course, that's the right plan of action, right course of action, but the fact that it's not ready is definitely a little bit of a bummer, right? The fact that we don't even have a release date yet is a letdown. So who knows? Are we going to get a Nintendo Direct in August? Maybe not. Are we going to get one in September? I think almost certainly, and maybe at that point we will find out more. But August is looking like it's going to be month of the third-party games for the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. Not much to look forward to besides Drag and Drive in the next couple of days, and I don't even think people are looking forward to that very much. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. While you're down there, drop a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel a ton. It will push this video into the algorithm. I'm a small channel, so if you guys are new here, consider subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Click the bell to be notified the next time I upload a video. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.